We're going to take a look here at the OClip Pro. So we're out here on a very cold evening in the mountains, giving these OClip Pros a good test. And you're going to see all the footage here in this video of how well they work out here in the middle of the woods, as well as a complete walkthrough on the workbench, so you can see all the good features that these have. Now, the first thing about this that's going to be very useful for a lot of folks is the fact that we have a clip here. And the clip I have found to be very durable, very nice. And the one thing I like that they did with this is that they made it nice and long. Unlike I've seen other clips before, they're very short and they just don't hang on or hold on. This thing, you can really kind of get it in there and clip it to something to where it's not going to go. It also has kind of a good depth of rubberized edges in there as well to kind of grip and grab also. So perfect for kind of clipping it to a jacket, or something along those lines, especially if you're outdoors doing stuff. The other thing too, it has a hole here where you can clip a key ring into, or some sort of smaller carabiner or something like that. And then the only charging option we have here is USB-C, which is pretty much becoming a standard out there for just about everything in regards to charging. So that makes it very easy. You don't have to have any sort of proprietary charging cord or anything like that. Now, if you want to use the lockout function on these, it's basically just a press and hold of the button. You'll see the light go out. And if you try to activate it again, the red light will come on, but no light will come on. If you want to deactivate that, pretty simple. Just hold it down for 2 seconds until the light comes back on, and then you're back out of it. Now, on the side here, if we want to rotate between the different modes, we have where we can go to the floodlight here. And then if we want to switch to the spotlight, that's the center one. And if we want to rotate it to the red light, very easy, just rotate it over to the right side for the red light. Now, turning it on is pretty simple. It's just a matter of just pressing down and it'll go ahead and come on there. For moonlight mode, all we got to do is kind of press and hold for 1 to 2 seconds. And as soon as it comes on, we just need to let our finger go, because if we hold it down for longer than that, it'll go into the lockout mode. And then we'll go ahead and we'll turn it off. Now, let's say that we want to kind of cycle up and down through the intensity of the light. So let's go ahead and switch it over here. If we want to cycle up and down, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll turn it on. And all we got to do is just hold, when the light is on, just hold down the button and it'll cycle through all the different brightness levels there to what we need for that moment in time. Now, if we need to go to turbo mode, pretty easy. Just a real quick double press here and right to turbo mode. So now we got it lit up at the highest setting here in turbo mode, and we are in spotlight here. So we'll go ahead and click that off. Now, if we need to go to strobe mode, this is going to be if the light is entirely off, and we're just going to double press 3 times. And there we go, into strobe mode here. And then off again. Now, if we want to go to beacon mode, this is where we actually need to turn the light on. And then once we have the light on, it's going to be a matter of where we do a three press again. But this is going to be different than the strobe mode. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. And there we go. We got our little beacon here. That's how that works. So pretty easy. So in the end, if that sounds kind of a little bit complicated, it really isn't. The main thing to remember is just 1 click to turn it on, 2 clicks for the turbo, and then also too, if we need to go to strobe real quick, light is off, 3 presses. And then if we click 3 presses when the light is on, it'll go to beacon mode. If we need to adjust that brightness level, again, just holding down that button while the light is on, and it'll cycle through all the brightness. So it's really not that difficult. And then you also have your switches here where we can go between red light, spotlight, floodlight, all that good stuff. And oh yes, the red light here. Let's go ahead and dial up the brightness. And we can also do beacon mode with this as well whenever we have the red light. Also too, on these lights, there is a battery level indicator. So whenever you have the light on, you can see it's green there. If it turns orange, it's kind of medium battery. And if the light is red, it means you're getting down towards the end of the battery charge. Also to the back of the clip right here, this is also magnetic as well. So anything metal that a magnet will stick to, this will stick to also. All right, folks, so here we are out in the woods, in the mountains. And we've got our little stars and stripes here, providing a little supplemental red light here for the camera. Just out here with the coyotes. No noise, no starlight, no moonlight. So let's test these lights out and see how they do. Okay, folks, so we have our Phantom Squadron OClip here. Let's go to turbo. And we have it set on the floodlight right here. So yeah, for a little 2-inch light, it picks up a fair bit all the way up here, around through the woods. Does a pretty decent job. I can see all the way out here into this clearing. All the way, probably, I'd say that's probably 100 yards over there to the very end, maybe. But yeah, lights it up pretty good. Let's go ahead and switch it over now to the spotlight. And here we go with the spotlight. Now you can see we've got a pretty focused beam there. And also too, we gain distance with that. So I can see all the way up the road there. All the way, there's a pile of gravel back there. I can see a good fair distance here. And it just gives me a more focused beam there to really kind of hone in on something at a distance, or if I really want to focus that light on something. So that really helps right there. Now, let's go ahead and go step it down a bit. And now we go to moonlight. So here, let's go ahead and go to floodlight here. So even with the moonlight, I can still navigate. I can probably see about maybe 30, 40 feet ahead. And remember, we have no starlight tonight, no moonlight, nothing. I can still see about 30, 40 feet ahead. So I can see the road, you know, if I had to walk up the road, navigate my way through here. Let's go ahead and switch it to spotlight now. So a little bit more of a focused beam here on the moonlight mode. Still pretty good, I'd say. You know, and we'll look over here. And it starts to kind of fade out there at distance. But, you know, we still get pretty decent. Like if you had to use this where I've really got to conserve battery power, you know, we can still navigate, walk up this road, whatever, and be good. Now we're stepping it up to the next brightness level here, and we can see much further now with more detail, more clarity. So again, out of a little 2-inch light, you know, this is doing a really good job. So, you know, probably in a lot of situations, we'd have a bigger light or something like that. But this is perfect for like a little backup, you know, for different situations, whatever it might be. Maybe we drop our primary light or whatever, and we just need something to get back, or we want to conserve the battery in our primary, whatever it might be. Next brightness up from moonlight still does pretty good. Let's switch it over here to floodlight. And again, you know, pretty decent, I'd say. That looks pretty good. I can see out, you know, 50 feet. I can see good definition. Like, look at that. That's just one step up from the moonlight. So that's pretty decent there. Let's go ahead and step it up to the next setting. And now here we're on our next setting of brightness. And I would say with this, what I'm kind of picking up is now we're seeing more detail close up with the brighter setting. So if we really needed to examine something a little bit closer up, then this is going to help big time with that. And let's go ahead and switch it to the spotlight mode. And there we go. Even much more distance there with the spotlight. And I gotta say, you know, you gotta think about, this is like a 2-inch long light, less than 1 inch wide. I mean, pretty impressive to have as a clip-on light to carry with you. Really, really good. Now I'm gonna walk down the road, and I've got the red light beacon on, so I'll go ahead and get, you know, a little bit of a distance down the road, and then shine it back in the direction of the camera and we'll see what it looks like. So folks, I hope this video convinces you that in the end, for a small compact light of this size, the amount of features and capabilities that are packed into this light is pretty impressive. And I'd say where this really fits in, for me, for instance, I'm handing them out to my nephews and nieces when they're out and about doing their activities. They've got a light, they can clip it on stuff, whatever it might be. And then also too, I'd say it's a really good backup light. So if you have your primary everyday carry light and you want something as just a backup in case you run your battery down in the everyday carry, or you want to preserve the battery in your everyday carry, that's an option too. So it's a thing where you can use it as a backup, or just kind of a little handy light where, hey, you're in your workspace or whatever, you need a small light that you can activate to look in drawers, closets, whatever it might be, under the hood of the car, you name it. Tons of different options with this light, and it's one of those things where I'm definitely always going to have a couple around here and there just to kind of to fulfill that handy function, but then also too as a backup light as well. So anyways, folks, definitely check these lights out, and we'll see y'all next time.